thanks for having me here. I'm now trying to represent the whole Finland and what we are doing, like shortly in energy instruction at the moment. My name is Tiia Niemi, and I have studied energy engineering at Tampere in Finland and living in the west coast at a city called Pori. And I have also born there and working at the local energy company now the 19 years, so a long time. Luckily, my work has been changed during the time, so I have been starting from the power plants and doing some mechanical stuff actually, and slowly doing the development engineer stuff, and then I have continuing doing the meeting more and more the customers, and now I'm mainly working with the customers and with the district heating and cooling and producing steam for our customers. So that's like the whole scale from the one house clients until to the industrial clients. Pori Energia has been here like already at 127 years, so a long time. The main purpose of the company was first to supply the lights on the streets for the city. In the end of the year 1898 we were announced, and we have done the district heating now the 56 years in Pori area. I'm also a big fan of the sea. I do sailing and boating. That's why the Baltic Sea has a big place in my heart. I'm also representing the Finnish Energy Association today, and I'm a part of one of the working groups, like it's an association of the energy companies, and I'm taking part of the one working group that is working with the customer and the services what we are offering for the customers, the energy end users. So that's what I'm talking about you today. The one leading idea in Finland at the moment is getting the emissions fall down, and it has been done already quite fast. You can see in the diagram that as it's like the change started somewhere at the 2015, and now we are aiming to get the emission of the energy field below zero. There are a few different options how to get there, but all of them are getting below zero. That's like the main goal here. The big changes, what we are doing, we have done at the moment, like we have totally stopped of using the coal, and now we are almost get rid of the peat, but we are still like strongly using the biofuels, like for the wood, and we have a big wood industrial in Finland also, and we are using like the waste wood there, that it's not possible to have any other uses. So it's, of course, if we can find some better way to use that wood from the sawmills and the paper factories, we will do that also, and not just burn it for energy. All of these, what you can see, are the things that also my company, the Pori Energia, is doing. So we have onshore wind power, electric boilers. We actually have, at the moment, we just started yesterday, back in my hometown, the real running for a new electrical boiler. The capacity is 50 megawatts. So, and we are just started to build a second one that's coming in our city, that's going to be 60 megawatts, the power of the electrical boiler. So quite big changes. And we are actually, with these, we are changing from the wood to the electrical producing the steam and heat. Here we have what we are aiming to do near future. We actually already have, like in Pori area, we already have the offshore wind power. It's the first in the world that has been built in the area where the sea is frozen in the wintertime. So it's a rough conditions there. And you have to be able to go there in, well, almost in every day of the year, there has to be a possibility to go. But during the winter, it's not always possible. And at the moment, I think that you can see later on the one kind of circle where we are going. And at the moment, I think we are a little bit like a hold position, that we are waiting the next steps to happen to get like the need for more clean energy. All the other things also is something that also my company is working with. And we like have already in some small scale industrial heat pumps, but they are quite small at the moment. That's something we are waiting to getting bigger. And we have some power plants, but in a really small scale at the moment. Let's see when that starts growing actually. And for making this all, we are needing people. And that's like the one key thing. Also, like there is this different options. And in both options, we are like needing 60,000 people more or 100,000 people more in the energy field or something cooperating with the energy field. And that's a huge amount of people and really like facing the problem to get the education people in the area to work with the energy decisions and building it and in everything that has to do something with it. Like you can see here what have been like named to be the key things, what you need in the future. But there is a lot of different type of like options. There's important to learn still the science and mathematics, but really important to have the customer service and talk with the customers and find out what they are actually wishing for us.
Vad är det på det? Vill det spektakulärt för det något? Vad är på det? Up this question.
Good. Yeah. Good. One thing that I was supposed to talk here is the networks. That we need a strong network and resilient system for all of this. And we have to find the balance for the networks. That's the one key thing. And here it's pretty much the Finland shape here. And some numbers also, who loves the numbers, can be written there. The main difference between is that what will happen at the hydrogen network. We are planning to build a huge hydrogen network from, it's green here in the slide, all the way to the west coast, where I'm also living here. So all the way there in the west coast is supposed to, we are aiming to get a huge hydrogen network. It's all actually starting from Sweden side and continuing through Finland, all the way to west coast and to Helsinki, Turku, and different cities in Finland. That's like a huge difference, and then we have to have the capacity to connect the other countries. It's like a, well, depends where you're comparing. Finland is a quite small country, so if you're comparing this number to a German or something, it's small. But the percentage, it's the thing that you're like, we are increasing the electricity capacity at least 90% and maybe 160%. And the one thing that I'm mainly working in this picture, I'm working with the waste heat and how we can get use of all that waste heat that's producing in industrial areas. Like, it's not a new thing, totally new thing. We have also done it in my area since 1970s. We have been using the waste heat from the industrial areas. So it's not a new thing, but the new thing is that if there is coming those huge hydrogen plants, huge ammonium, new industrial over that, data centers, they are producing way more waste energy than there has been since now. And that's also the big question to solve, that not just to get all that heat in the atmosphere, that it will be nice to have it all used. Let's see if that's even possible, but I believe that number here, that it says that over 100%, that's doable. Since we have done it since the 70s, I believe that it's possible to increase the using it. And we have a strong networks in also at the electricity, but also in the district heating networks that are actually divided all country. We have several networks of district heating, and I think we can easily double the waste heat use that we are at the moment doing. But let's see how far we can go in that. But I totally believe the number 100, over 100% here, that's doable. At least we find some solutions with these industrial companies, and we will get the right people connected and get the solutions done. The one thing is flexibility. Since the area is changing, there is like the size of a circle gives you an idea how much the flexibility there is in that area. Since we are getting a lot of weather-dependent production, especially the wind power is increasing a lot in Finland. We also need, for the system balance, something that will have the flexibility in different driving cases. And something like, this is where we need automation. We need a lot of new connections. Like, I was with when we at 2008 or in the end of 2007, we started to make the forecast for our electrical production. And I was making that for my company, and I have a blank Excel, and then I put numbers in. So it was only my brain that was doing that forecast. And that's it. That's where we started. But luckily it's a lot of years ago. And that was just when you were forced to make that forecast. Then quite quickly we get a program for that. Actually, we developed the Excel first, and then we get the phase that the Excel is just too slow and it cannot be done this all, and we get the program for that. We still have the same program, so we make a really good choice. By then, we still have the same program that we have been able to develop it a lot. And just now in the beginning of October, we changed from the 1 hour to the 15 minutes cycle in Finland. So now it's impossible for the people to do that forecast anymore. I couldn't be that fast and always ready to change it in every 15 minutes there, and doing that in the weekends also. So impossible. So even it has been started in the point that actually I was doing the Excel and putting the numbers, and that was sent to the Nord Pool to get they have the idea what we are producing tomorrow and next week. Now it's just impossible. It cannot be done anymore. And one big thing has changed, like since there is the nuclear power, like back years, since still like the 5 years ago, nuclear power didn't have any flexibility, or didn't have any flexibility, but they didn't drive that way. So they always drive it flat, and that was it. But they have now developed also flexibility there, so they are actually lower it down and producing more, depending what's the situation in electrical network. Yes. The one thing of all of these changes, it has to have some benefits for the customers. And this is the circle that I told you before, that we are now in a certain phase and seeing that going on. I think we are here at the moment in Finland. We are here. The price volatility has rise a lot, and it's also a little bit problem for people and the customers because they are getting secure solutions for that, not to be open for that big changes. But because of the big volatility, we are now investment of the energy storages and the flexibility, and we are finding the new solutions, how to actually work with that, how to get the benefit out of that, and how the customers will get the best out of it. And then we are seeing that then it goes forward. There's the competitive prices, clean energy, get the new investments, new industrial companies in Finland. There's an increased demand for energy that will meet for the clean energy production and continuing. So some phases is going to happen. Teams. Yeah. The summary, how it will look like, what we are actually using it in production. At the moment, it's looking a little bit different. And like I said, there is no coal or no peat anymore. That they have been there in last 5 years still and last 10 years still. But at the moment, we have already get rid of those. Like the biggest change there is the wind power. So it has the most developing area there. And still we have calculated that the wind power in Finland, it's going to be less like per square meters than, for example, in Denmark. So it's not going to be that intensive there. Nuclear power will be pretty much the same. So we're thinking to replace the power plants at the moment. Hydropower, solar power is also growing from where it's now. And the big difference of these two scenarios, it's the hydrogen, what will happen there. Do we have the end users of the hydrogen, where it's going, the industrial area of that? So like the big questions in this picture is the hydrogen and where the price is going and what are the users and what's the actual sources of that and how we are doing it. Since we have now a really big demand of electricity need and like how we were, the big question is that in Finland at the moment you are not allowed to build any new huge like electrical boilers or industrial or data centers that are using more than 10 megawatt hours in some areas of Finland. Like I told, we are investing of the 60 megawatt electrical boiler at the moment, so we have the permits to do that. But in some areas it's not possible, and because it's a big country, and well, pretty much like here, the main part of the people are somewhere at the Helsinki area. And that's like the biggest city in Finland, and then there are the smaller cities. And well, of course, there's people in Lapland and everywhere, but it's much smaller. And we are producing the main part of our energy in the west coast. And that's the center of producing all Finnish energy is 600 kilometers north from Helsinki. And then you have to like take all that energy and deliver that to the more south, to the Helsinki area. And of course, the industrial areas are like also different places. And that's also a big question that we can keep that way, because we are producing the energy in different parts. And we will need the energy end users also in wide places in Finland, not only in the capital area. Then there are the few steps how Finland becomes an European champion in energy transition. So huge vision going to be the best there. There are 5 steps that are here in short way, and the next slides there's more about them. It starts from the top. The best location, energy-intensive industry, and how the energy investments can create sustainable growth and jobs in Finland. There's also a solution, so not only questions, so that's the big part. There's a climate governance for the period 2030 to 2050 in Europe that we are getting there. I'm seeing that we will get it. It's not we just need still a few decisions, important decisions, but it's there. It's not something that's unreachable. And so we are hoping for continuing to expand and strengthen the emission trading. Then the taxation is the one big issue. What will happen there? And like the area has to be predictable. You have to know what the taxes and the prices will be also in 5 years or 10 years to make huge investments. Like if you don't know where you are working, it's really hard to make the decisions, at least by the investment calculations. If you have a lot of differences, a lot of variables, so there it has to be like the balanced area. And one big thing is that the last thing is also that there's a lot of working with the permits at the moment, that how to get them run through smoothly and get the same effect on everybody, and there's like not the short line for somebody and somebody gets stuck in somewhere. And there's also helping for them to get the permissions, like if it's already, of course, have to have the calculations and the plans how to do it, and also environmental friendly way. Yeah. The diverse production, I already talked a little bit about this, but it's important that we keep like the whole Finland involved in this. But we are like hoping like it will be all in one area, or to have the energy production and also the energy users in all parts. We are aiming to get the treat of the nuclear power, the part with the renewable energy. It's not yet that in Finland. In some countries it is, but in Finland it's not yet. And one big question is also that onshore and offshore wind power construction that's happening. Or actually the offshore construction is some way at the moment getting slowed down because of a lot of volatility in the electrical network. The price is changing, so they are taking the treat at the moment. And then I hear that you have already done the captured carbon dioxide project in Iceland a long time already. We are also working with it. It's not something huge yet, but we are also working that getting, since we are burning the biomass, also the wood from the sawmills, for example, to get like the use for that CO2 that we can capture. Energy networks, one big thing, and what needs investments at the moment. And that's also something that has been changed. The laws has been changing now, that also other companies at the Fingrid are also to build up the high voltage electrical grids. Customer benefits. You have to have your customers with you, with the conversations, what they are needing at the moment. And one big thing here is also that also the heat production is turning to from the electricity at the moment a little bit, but still, like, we have been calculating that we are needing our district heating networks, that it will also balance the need of electricity a lot. There's a flexibility in that, and if you would change that all for electricity, for all the district heating, the system balance is almost impossible at the moment if you're doing some huge changes quickly. So district heating is a quick balance moment also there. Yeah. And the last, we need the people. And it's like the Finnish education, it's starting from the primary school. So we're actually thinking what's happening at the primary school to get the workers for the energy field. And we have the operations going with the second grade since a long time already. Even I was participating of that when I was in the second grade, so at the 8 years old. Yeah, there is a system how the energy field is connecting with the ninth grade, at the ninth grade, so it's 15 years old. So I think that those need to be strengthened even more, and people to get to know what all we are doing. So it's not like just only producing or burning something. It's a really wide area, what we are doing. Here, thank you. Okay, good.